Here's a look at your daily market report on this Friday, the 4th day of October. Take a look at some of the stickout sales from the auction barns around the state this week. Of course, all of our data isn't quite in yet, as there is still some sales today, but as of what we have so far, looks like we ought to end up with about 23,000 head of feeders this week. Steer side, most of the calves sold in smaller lot sizes this week. It was really that way across a lot of the steers, just not quite the amount of load lots that we've seen in previous week. Had a small package of 515-pound steers sell at $312. That was the top this week. The average was $295 across the state. 20 head of 705-pound steers sold at $266. The weight average price so far on those light 7-weight steers across the state at $258. Had a full load of 806-pound steers at $253 this week. A full load of 965-pound steers brought $237. Taking a look at the heifers, there were several loads and big consignments this week of some heifers. Several of these were thin flesh condition. Had 20 head of 505-pound fancy heifers sell at $301. The weight average price across the state on those light 5 weights this week at $263. Had 134 head of 617-pound heifers tagged as thin, brought $279. Had 527 head of 690-pound heifers sell with 1 drop of the gavel. These were thin fleshed as well, $263.10 on those. Had 20 head of 828-pound heifers at $229, and then 32 head of 958-pound heifers at $220.25. Taking a look at the box beef cutout values this morning. Choice at $302.36, up $256. Select at $287.14, up $385. That's based on a value of 74 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds. The Choice Select spread setting at $15.22. Negotiated feedlot trade as of the morning report on Friday morning, we've only had about 6,000 head of confirmed sales reported across the feeding regions. In Iowa, we're up to about 2,400 head. Some live sales at $188 to $188.50 report on Thursday afternoon. Earlier in the week, we had some dress sales in Iowa at $300 even. Nothing reported in Nebraska on Thursday. They've only had about 300 head so far this week. They were dress sales at $296. In Kansas so far, about 1,000 head. Earlier in the week, there was a few dress sales in Kansas at $295. On Thursday, a few live sales at $185 to $186. In Texas, about 400 head so far this week. They were reported earlier in the week with a live price of $186. Take a look at it so far this morning on Friday. The Mercantile Exchange live cattle, October up 95, 186.92. December 186.92 as well. That's up 52 cents. October feeder cattle up 70, 249.67. November up $1, 249.12. Plain hogs for October, 25 lower, 83.95. December 76.25, down 15. Grain markets at midday. Corn's down about a nickel on most all the contracts. December at 4.23 1/4. March at 4.40 3/4. Soybeans about 7 cents lower. November 10.38 3/4. January 10.57 1/2. Wheat for December down 14 1/4, 5.89 1/4. March down 13 3/4 at 6.12 3/4. With the Missouri Department of Agriculture, that's your daily market report. This is Tony Hancock.